Hi there, good noon and welcome to our another session focusing on ensuring that you go on to become successful. What else? But this time around, the focus is going to be on Maharashtra. I welcome you to BYJU'S exam prep channel dedicated to your success as an MBA aspirant. My name is Vikrant. I am your personal coach for all things related to language and communication. And in this particular session, as you can see, I'll take you through some of those Maharashtra CET questions. So it's good to here. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so that you get the notification whenever we are live. So let me quickly give you the overview of this particular exam. So test duration 150 minutes, total number of questions 200. Imagine. And then marking scheme is pretty straightforward. +1 for every right answer, and there is no negative marking. So you know what we do in such exams, right? We go on to attempt all the questions. Okay. This exam basically, just like the other exam that we talked about, remember CMAT, this also has 5 sections. So you have logical reasoning, abstract reasoning, quantitative aptitude, and then verbal ability and RC, 4 sections. Now within logical reasoning, you also get almost around 20 odd questions right here that can be termed closer to language. So, you know, questions that ask you about inferences, assumptions, cause, effect, all those things, syllogisms. So this segment may also have a lot of those question varieties. And within VA and RC, I think it is more or less a fairly standard exam, where I'd say that the difficulty level is a little on the lower side when we compare it to exams like CAT and ZAT, but it asks you reading comprehension. It gives you a lot of grammar based questions which are predominantly focused on error identification. Then there are these vocabulary based questions where, you know, synonyms, antonyms, foreign expressions, idiom phrases, all of those. And then you have fill in the blanks, and the fill in the blanks in Maharashtra CET can at times be a little unconventional. I will show them to you today. And then of course we have our old friend parajumbles, right? So those of you who have gone on to write a lot of non-CAT exams, you already are very well prepared for this exam, as it pretty closely resembles all of those other exams. Okay, then let me see, there are some questions streaming in. Having trouble remembering words, can there are these dedicated sessions that we have taken, but here is this one simple little tip. Use association based methods. So association based methods say that you link the meaning of a word with something else which is preferably already in your mind. So it can be a root, so it can be some other word, it can be an image, a sound. There are times when you can go ahead and learn root words, right? And all those things basically go on to help you when it comes to retaining those words. Fair enough? Okay, then let us dive into our questions first, and as the session progresses, I'll just try to answer more and more of your concerns. So here you go. Question number 1 on your screen, and this question is going to be based on grammar. So you notice there is a sentence that is divided into 3 parts, A, B, and C. If there is no error, go ahead and choose D as your answer, and your time for this question starts now. Okay, so the time is over and let's dive in. So the correct answer here is option A. It should be everything was going well. You notice the rest of the sentence. We did not have any problem at that time. So we are very clearly talking about the past, and therefore in part A, we should not have gone on to use a verb from the present. It should be a verb from the past. So everything was going very well. Okay, some of us are actually concerned about RCs. So, okay, the total number of questions in RCs, it's usually an equal split between VA and RC. So, kind of 50-50%. So, typically, if I remember it correctly, last year we had 7 or 8 RC passages. Now, the thing is, some of those passages are actually quite small. So, if I look at the length, it was like 150 words to 500 words. So, 500 words is approximately the kind of length that you get in exams like the CAT, where 150 are pretty small, right? 1/3 of that. So, if you are concerned about tackling RC questions because you have less time, well, I think if you have been preparing for all these exams, I'm sure your faculty members and your team that you have built around to prepare well has emphasized the fact that you need to learn to read fast, read for overview. Then you can always prioritize those passages on the basis of your level of familiarity with the subject matter. So hopefully those things should help. Yash, we are focusing on Maharashtra CET today with, we don't even have 10 days to go now. So I think a basic strategy for VARC will not be a right thing to talk about in this session, but we do keep conducting these sessions where we talk about VARC in great detail. I think I'd be taking one such session on the 18th on our app, if I'm not mistaken. Well, let us see. Crazy Ajay, read the passage first. Milind, read the question. So we are going through questions. Let's do one thing, okay? Let's go through the practice questions that I have for you for the day. And then the challenges that emerge, talk about those challenges with me towards the end, and I'd basically go ahead and answer these. So I was really very happy that quite a few of us have gone on to get this right. And then Abhiram, when you say verbs third form could not go, which segment were you talking about? There is no third form here, no? Okay, taking you over to the next question. Okay, Business Maestro, is MBA CET? Yeah, Business Maestro, let us see. Will MBA CET be postponed? I don't know. Can it get postponed? Yes, but do we know it? No. So until the notification does not say, until we have official communication, let us assume that the exam is going to happen on 18th and 19th, and see, come to think of it, exam may or may not get postponed. Now, if you believe that exam will get postponed, and it does get postponed, then it is all right. But if the exam does not get postponed, then you would struggle to perform. On the other hand, if you prepare for 18th and the exam happens on 18th, great, you're prepared. If the exam gets postponed, you get more time to make yourself even better. So which one of these two scenarios is better? To believe that it will happen on 18th and prepare accordingly. See, we are doing that. Okay. So here is the next question for you on the screen. What do you think is your answer for this question? Ten seconds to go. I hope you're thinking. Okay. Righto. So the correct answer here is B. The sentence is using a wrong preposition. It should be quarrel over petty issues. You don't quarrel on something, you quarrel over something. So that is why B, and I'm really glad that a lot of us have managed to get this right. And those who thought there is no error, well, now you know, quarrel over and not on. Okay, the next one on your screen, and your time starts now. Abhiram, you quarrel over, not at. Ooh, 10 seconds to go, guys. I'll give you some extra time for this slightly lengthy sentence, but Radhika, of course, did not need that. Give you some more time to catch up. Okay, let me give you a hint. Have you heard of something called direct and indirect speech? Remember quote marks and then you remove those quote marks? So the chairman made it clear at the meeting that he, and then, okay, even if you do not, come to think of it, the chairman made it clear at the meeting. So we are talking about the past. So instead of will, it should be would. The chairman made it clear at the meeting that he would not step down from his position as chairman. So the rest of it is fine, and therefore our answer should be option B. So that's question number 3 for you. Now, I used these 3 questions as basically, what would I call them? Warm-up questions, right? Now, there is no negative marking, all right, but then there is this one very important bit, which I will come to pretty soon. Why don't you go ahead and look at this particular question? Now, in this question, once again, I'm going to test your grammar skills, but I've given you 4 different sentences. You are supposed to choose the sentence which is grammatically correct and mark that as your answer. So 3 of these are wrong. 1 of these is right. That's your answer. Go ahead. I don't have a timer for this, but the moment I see 5 answers, we'll go ahead and start our discussion. Answers, guys. Answers. Okay, fantastic. So the grammatically correct sentence is indeed sentence A, as a lot of us have figured it out. B, I thought was easy, has an easy error. Remember, a exhortation. Don't you think it should be an exhortation? A versus an is something that we all know, right? Okay, see, this period in history is not noted for its religious tolerant. Religious is an adjective. It is supposed to have a noun after it. So instead of tolerant, let's write tolerance. So C is also grammatically incorrect. And D, instead of TOO2, we just needed TO2. To avoid united a penalty. So that is why D is also eliminated, and thus we are left with A as our answer. So I thought B and C were easy. D at times, when you're just speaking it, you may skip noticing that error, but then B and C were pretty obvious, right? Okay, here comes the 5th question. From here on, we will follow the exam pattern very closely. So when it comes to Maharashtra CET, the exam usually give us 5 options and not 4. So I just used the first 4 questions as warm-up so that you are able to focus more on grammar. But from this question onwards, we follow the exam very closely, and there are going to be 5 options just the way we get these in the exam. So here is your 5th question. You've been given a sentence with an underlined part, and you need to choose the best replacement for it. Your time starts now. 5 seconds to go, guys. Okay, so let us see what you choose. Jatin, if somebody is from the team joining in, could you just look at what Jatin has said? Can you go to the website and update us? Okay, guys, so question number 5. The correct answer is option D. So we use by to refer to the agent who is performing an action normally, right? I picked it by, and then with is used more in the sense of in relation to. So it should be to get tough with, since we are establishing a relationship between the banks and the willful defaulters, and that is why let's go ahead and choose D as our answer. Here is the next one. I think almost everybody has managed to get this right. So get tough with, not by. Okay, and with that, now let us switch it up a bit and let me take you through some fill in the blank questions, especially the kinds that you may expect in the exam. So here is your 6th question. Now you see what is happening here. Instead of giving you one sentence, the examiner can give you 2 sentences and both of them have a blank. Now the deal is your job is to pick up the word that can go into both of these blanks. So these are questions that test our understanding of something called polysemy. So polysemy is a single word can have multiple meanings. So if you're aware of that, if you know that, then these questions are going to be easy for you to answer. So why don't you start this question? What do you think is your answer going to be? Five seconds to go. Okay, so it is the registration date which has been extended apparently, and not the exam date. So let's not put a lot of hopes in that. Okay, so let's start with automatic. So what I do in these questions is that I take it option by option. So loss of memory is a natural, automatic of old age. It does not go in the first sentence, so let's rule it out. Natural can't go. Let's rule it out. What do you understand by the word concomitant? Concomitant means something that happens with something else, right? So there are times when two things happen together. So one of those can be termed concomitant with the other one. So loss of memory is a natural concomitant of old age. Yes, that can go in the first blank. Does it go in the second blank? In addition to the number of members in the family means a concomitant increase in expenditure. Yes, goes in the second as well. So I think answer should be C. Well, let's check D. Loss of memory is a natural companion of old age. Yes. In addition to the number of members in the family means a companion increase in expenditure. Nope. And that is why let's just go ahead and mark C as our answer. So there you go. Oh, monkey D. Luffy. Tough luck, man. Tough luck, huh? I mean, B could very easily be ruled out. No, the first sentence already had natural before the blank. So why would you write natural? That's tough to miss, no? Okay, here is the next question of the same variety. Why don't you go ahead and give this one a shot, and your time starts now. Okay, answers to 7th now. Okay, Chetan, that was really quick. Okay, so let's see. The restaurant claims to serve delectable local food. Delectable means delicious. Yum. So it does go in the first blank. How can you be sure that the signature is delectable? No, we can't use delectable for signature. So let's rule out A. The restaurant claims to serve forged local food. Does not go in the first blank. The restaurant claims to serve spurious local food. Spurious does mean fake, but then we do not really use it for things like food, right? We do use it for food ingredients though. So we can rule it out. The restaurant claims to serve authentic local food. Absolutely yes. Authentic can be used to refer to a particular cuisine. And how can you be sure that the signature is authentic? Yup. This too works, and therefore the answer should be D, as a lot of you have gone on to choose. Forged can go in the second blank though, mind you. Okay, here is the next question. Again, fill in the blanks, but of a slightly different variety. We don't get to see these varieties in a lot of other exams, and that is what makes Maharashtra CET a bit unique in its approach. So here you go. So you notice this time around you have a sentence with 3 blanks. So I think that is the only other exam which gives us 4 blanks. IFT can at times gives us 3, but mostly restricts itself to 1 or 2 blanks. But this time around you have 3 blanks and you need to choose a word for all the 3. Use the process of elimination, and that is how you can solve this question faster. Your time starts now. Ten seconds. Let us see what our answer for question number 8 should be. Okay, so let's take it blank by blank. A crippling foreign exchange crisis, yep, goes, which has resulted in an acute shortage of fuel, yes. Spiraling prices, yes, all the 3 go. So I think we found our answer here. Some of us have also picked up B, so let's look at B. A crippling foreign exchange policy can go, which has resulted in an acute abundance of food. So you notice crippling is a negative word. So if your foreign exchange policy is negative, why will you have an abundance of fuel? That's one. Number 2, acute is also in this particular context going to be a negative word. So abundance will not work here. So we can rule out option B. Crippling foreign exchange reserves, which has resulted in an acute severe of fuel. Acute is an adjective. Where is the noun? Severe won't go. So C can also be ruled out. A crippling foreign exchange emergency, which has resulted in an acute supply of fuel. That doesn't work. So even D is ruled out. So I hope I have marked, I've told you why B, C and D are wrong, because I saw some of us who've gone on to choose that. And with that, let's dive into our next fill in the blank of a similar variety. Let's go ahead and give this one a shot, and your time starts now. Okay, 5 seconds to go, guys. All right, so for question number 9, the correct answer is option E. So some analysts believe that the increase has been excessive, that it will push up inflation via the fiscal burden of higher subsidies. I also see quite a few of us who've gone on to choose D. Let's look at D. Some analysts accept that the increase has been excessive, that it will tune up inflation. Now this is where we have a problem. And then both directly where the fiscal purport of hire subsequently. Purport basically means claim. Doesn't make sense, right? And if some of us have also picked up C, take up inflation won't work. When you take up something, you start learning it, right? It does not mean increase, which is what we needed in the second blank. So E it is. And here is our next question. Question number 10. On your screen, a fill in the blank question, but with a slight twist. So you have just one blank, but this time around, you know that you've been asked to choose the correct idiom for this blank. So get ready, and your time starts now. All right, so the correct answer here is going to be option E. Let's have a quick look at the meanings and then hopefully you'd know why. So the first one is play the devil's advocate. Now, a devil's advocate is somebody who pretends, he's not in reality against, but somebody who pretends to be against an idea or a plan that a lot of other people support. So he pretends that in order to ensure that people consider or discuss that plan in great detail. So that's what playing the devil's advocate means. Then you have the next one, throw in. Throw in the towel means to surrender or to give up. Bark up the wrong tree. If you say that someone is barking up the wrong tree, you mean that they are following the wrong course of action because their beliefs, because their ideas about something are incorrect, right? Drop the hat. We do not have any such idiom. Take the bull by its horn means to do something difficult in a brave and courageous manner. Now, if I look at this, she decided to dash and tell him to leave. Now, it's usually, for a majority of us, it is difficult to be candid. It is difficult to tell somebody to leave straight away. I mean, when was the last time you looked at somebody and said, get lost? नहीं चलता ना अपने को इतना. So कुछ नेगेटिव चाहिए था जिसको करने के लिए थोड़ी एफर्ट करेज चाहिए हो. So that is why I'd say we'd go ahead and pick up E. And she decided to bark up the wrong tree. There is no course of action being contemplated here, no giving up happening. D is not even an idiom. And between A and E, I think E is definitely more appropriate. So that's about fill in the blanks. Now these questions, this particular exam also has parajumbles, right? So let's go ahead and solve a couple of parajumbles. I will give you the directions manually because I was not able to fit them onto a single slide. So what you see is a parajumble where the first sentence is fixed. Your paragraph starts here. A, B, C and D, these four happen to be floating. So you need to arrange these four after the first sentence to make a coherent paragraph out of it. And your 5 options are available down below. There is no timer, but the moment I get 6 answers is the moment when we will start our discussion. Okay. Let us see what you go on to choose. Okay. Right. Okay. So I have my 6 answers. So let's dive into discussing this particular question. So let's see. Let me highlight some clues for you first. So you notice sentence B says the notes. And then C has they look roughly like 50 rupee notes. D says that is the thinking. So what is the thinking? But then you notice 0 rupee notes. The moment I see this, I can definitely tell you that sentence C and sentence B should definitely come after D. So any sentence where C and B come before D will not make any sense. So B has the notes. C is talking about they look roughly like 50 rupee notes. So those 0 rupee notes, right? So option A, B is before D. Option B is fine. Option C is once again B before D. Option D, C before D. Option E, okay, option E. So DB versus BD. So let's see. So it has to be either B or E. So let us check. Both of them start with A. So let's start. Worthless currency is not necessarily useless. A, it can be a pointed way of shaming someone who asks for a bribe. Great. Now you notice. Oh, E also has C before D. How did I miss that? That is eliminated. So we're left with B. Should be B here. So I mean, just an identification of this clue would have worked. Had this not been there, then this part, that is the thinking, connects directly with A. So it will still be ADCB. So it should be option B. So you notice a pronoun comes after the noun. So C after D. Then B, the notes. You introduce the notes once and later when you refer to them, you'd use the notes. And therefore B should also come after D. And the moment we identified this, the moment we figured this out, we could eliminate options A, C, D and E and zero in on B. Okay, so here is your next parajumble. Go ahead, make a switch and dive into this now. Answers, guys, answers. Let's see. Okay, Vaibhav has given me a couple of answers. I am assuming it is for this particular question. Okay, so now the answers are coming. Abhiram is maintaining a steady pace today, huh? Solving questions really fast. Abhiram, what's your accuracy rate so far? Is it above 70%? Okay, so the correct answer here, let us discover it together. One of the traditional arguments in favor of a free market economy. So since a lot of us were struggling, let's look at it. So you notice A, such a system, such is a clue. They say, they is a clue. B, that is used to reiterate, state something using a different set of words. This is a pronoun. nevertheless is used to show contrast. So sentence number 1, which is fixed, this talks about arguments in favor of free market economy, tangible incentive. And if you look at sentence B, this is a reiteration of sentence 1, and that is why you need to have 1 plus B. But then the rest of them are contradictory. So in order to introduce that contrast, you need to put D immediately after B. So nevertheless, some economists and political philosophers have contended that the capitalist model is inherently flawed. And let's see if we can find our answer. Do we have BD at the beginning anywhere? Yes, it is there in option A. So that's going to be our answer. And even otherwise, if you extend such a system, they say, now this they refers to economists and political philosophers, should come after D. And this basically expands on that thought. It is inherently flawed. What is the flaw? Creates winners and losers. Why does it create winners and losers? This is because. So you see that? So it should be, the correct answer should be option A. All that we do is we look at the various clues and then using each one of those clues. So the moment you've identified a clue, use that to establish a connection with some other sentence. The moment you see that connection, it can be a sequence, it can be a mandatory pair, use that to eliminate options. So if you're left with just one option, great. If you're left with more than one options, come back, pick up another clue, use that to eliminate the options. Guys, and if you think that the session is helping you so far, don't forget to give it a like and do consider subscribing to the channel if you have not. And with that, let's switch over to our next question, question number 13. So that's about parajumbles, but I think some of you would probably benefit from additional practice. So the accuracy rate in these two questions in general has not been very high for our group. So make sure that you go back to the drawing board, look at your technique, learn to identify those clues and then solve them. So for the next 7, 8, 9 days, 9 days, why 7, 8, 9? 9 days, make sure that you sit down that you solve 10 parajumbles every day and learn from those mistakes. I'm sure within these 9, 10 days, you're going to be phenomenally better. Okay. So it's just like a puzzle. The clues scattered around in various sentences. You're supposed to use those. If there is a lot of demand, if a lot of you think that you need more practice for parajumbles, we would love to schedule another such session for you. I can probably record one and upload it. Let us see. So here is your next question, but it is not a parajumble. This time around, I'm going to test your understanding of idioms. So my goal in this session was to ensure that you get exposed to those question varieties that you normally do not get exposed to, right? So here is your 13th question. Your time starts now. Go ahead, go ahead. Come on, guys. 13th, what's your answer? This should be easy. Absolutely, yes. I think Dhwani has definitely managed to get it right. It is option A, and that's in fact the correct answer. So it all boils down to the meaning of the idiom, right? There is no logic involved here. So originally the idiom used to be as thick as two thieves, as it generally describes a relationship between two people. So here the word thick is used to suggest something like intimate, familiar, closely allied, right? So that is why we basically go ahead and choose A. So nothing to do with thieves or theft here. Whenever you're very close to somebody, you can use this expression. So a lot of people say BFF, right? So your BFF is basically somebody you are thick as thieves with. Divya, can you elaborate? What is it that you could not understand? Idioms are just like words, right? They have a meaning. There is no logic behind that meaning. There can be a story in its origin, but then We generally use those stories merely to use as an association based tool to help us retain that. Okay, here is the next one. Question number 14 on your screen, and this time around I have chosen to give you a phrasal verb. Remember, a verb along with a preposition that leads to a different meaning. So, and the phrasal verb is underlined here. Your time starts now. Divya, if you can elaborate, I can help you. Divya, yes, it can come from anywhere. There are times when it moves very far away from its origin story. That is why I said that there is no logic here. We just need to learn. We just need to retain that. Okay, guys, the correct answer here in this context will be B. That's going to be a best answer, so to say. So, went off is the past form of the phrase go off, right? So go off has a lot of different meanings. One of the meanings of go off is to blast. But then in the given context, the closest that you have is dislike. So basically, when you stop liking someone or something, or when you stop being interested in someone or something, then you can use the phrasal verb go off. For example, I went off burgers when I got food poisoning from a burger that I picked up from a takeaway. So I went off burgers, stopped liking them because they led to food poisoning. I went off Puneet when he said those dreadful things about Anita. So I went off Puneet because I stopped liking him. So that's one of the ways in which we use this. There are a lot of other meanings too. Remember, the interview went off smoothly. That's correct. A bomb went off in a distance. That's correct. But then this is one of those lesser known meanings of went off that I basically tried you with. Jatin, what do you think when the exam is going to happen? 18th? 19th? I firmly believe that. So, array, dude, let's prepare for the worst. Yeah, let's push these thoughts away. Okay, here is the 15th question. So, you have been given 4 sentences A, B, C, D. Each one of these sentences uses an idiom. The idiom is monkey's uncle. Now, one of these 4 sentences uses the idiom correctly. That sentence is your answer. And in case you think, hey, all the 4 are not getting the idiom and use correct, then you can go ahead and choose E as your answer. I could not fit in my timer onto this page, so I'll once again rely on the first 6 answers. Yes, Divya, all exams are easy, yaar. The only challenge here is that if you're a non-Maharashtrian applying to some of the premier colleges, you need to have a really nice, really excellent score. So we'd say around 142 plus is usually the trend, yes. So बताइए कौन सा जतिन क्या बोल के? अरे नहीं यार, डरने वाला, अपन किसी से डरते हैं? एग्जाम क्या कर लेगा यार तुम्हारा? तुमको करना है जो एग्जाम के साथ करना है ना? चलिए. So yes, XYZ, the registration has been extended to 11th of March. Yep. What's your answer, guys? Waiting for 6. Okay, Radhika has set the ball rolling with B. What else? और बताओ. What else? अरे भाई सब लोग बी पिक कर रहे हैं. वेरी नाइस. सो सबसे पहले तो monkey's uncle, or say I will be a monkey's uncle is an idiom that basically is used to express shock, surprise, incredulity. You know, when you want to say I don't believe it. So that kind of a thing. So A is incorrect because it is treating it as a proper noun, as a place. No, won't work. B is at least using it in a grammatically correct manner. In C as well, you notice monkey has been turned into a proper noun. So you can eliminate it. D, I'd rather not be a weird, creepy monkey's uncle. Monkey's uncle is used to show shock or surprise. Does it show a shock? Does it show shock or surprise in D? No. So you can rule this out. So B is the best one. If the president stays in power at the next election, then I'll be a monkey's uncle. So this person believes that in the next election, the president will lose. And if the president does not lose, then he is going to be shocked or surprised. Right? So that's how it works. You can in fact use it in the current context. If the Maharashtra CET exam happens on 18th and 19th of March, I will be a monkey's uncle. So I'll be shocked or surprised. That's one way of using it. Okay. So every idiom has a meaning. You just need to see whether the sentence gives you that meaning or not. If you fit that meaning into A, C and D, you won't get that. A and C were incorrect for some other reasons as well, because the phrase is not being used as an idiom in A and C at all. Okay, so that's why we could lose it. We could rule those out. And here is a thought for you to think over. I love those who can smile in trouble, said Leonardo da Vinci. What is the application for us? See, whenever you get a question wrong, don't worry, don't frown, do not let that smile fade away. Smile and then meet this question. Move over to the next question. Meet the next question with a smile. That will set you up for victory. Okay. And that's what I brought for the day. Please make sure that you like. And we are wherever you are. So make sure that you follow us at all of these places. If you have any question, any concern, do ask me. Arey Mohan, I just use that as an example. Okay. But mentally, I'm in that zone where I am preparing for 18th. In fact, I'm preparing you for the 18th. Yeah. You know that when we start this series of 100 most expected questions, we started very close to the exam. Jatin, BYJU'S gives you more than 70 mocks. And they are really close to the actual exams. So I think that should generally suffice. Okay, so that's it from me today. I look forward to meeting you guys once again here and elsewhere. Until then, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch, and let's prepare for the 18th, right? See you. Take care and have a nice day.